97.1, good to have you aboard on a snowy Monday afternoon. We have got so much ground to cover. I want to jump right in. Sully on vacation. I will tell you, we do have open questions here. We don't know, is Hatchet up to the task? It's going to be an ongoing developing story on this show. David, normally the arbiter of justice on the phone lines, now dropping the hammer of what's right and wrong, and it's all about entertainment. It's going to be exciting. David is amped up. Both his teams, his Lions and his fake team, the Steelers, are pretty damn good.
Super Bowl.
Going to be exciting. We have got a lot to talk about because right now, I think it's as simple as one middle finger. This is all about Matthew Stafford. Look, the Lions did what they do. They went out and they found a way to win a football game. I just don't think anybody can criticize them at this point, and I don't think it's correct to do so. I think it's disingenuous. They're not dominant. Well, if that's their crime, then you may press charges on almost every team in the NFC. Is Dallas dominant? They haven't looked the same the last 3 weeks. They went out and lost a 10-7 football game. What team is dominant exactly? There are none. Now, the Packers looked great yesterday. I get it, but they got to do more. So I'm making a point to you here. They went out and did what they needed to do, but Matthew Stafford is the news story. The injury to his middle finger, ligament damage, dislocation. Matthew Stafford himself admitted it affected every aspect of his throw. I think it's during a game, a player finds a way to handle an injury when the adrenaline's flowing. But how he handles it moving forward, that's a different deal. Now you go to the Giants, who have one of the hotter defenses in the league. The Cowboys, after losing that game, are going to need to play you and need the game. And the Packers look red hot now. Okay. So here's what I want. I want to talk to you about confidence, because what I need to hear from you, the Lions fan, is where your confidence level with your team is at. Everything was going smashingly, except the one guy on this football team that cannot be compromised got hurt. Stafford might battle through it. He is one of the toughest SOBs you're going to run into. I got so much respect for that guy. He goes out, stays in that game, knows he's compromised, knows he's not 100%, makes mistakes, battles back, leads you to victory. There's nothing else you can ask for. But I'm asking you now, look, if he's compromised long-term, you're losing out. And if he's not compromised, you could win out. But I'm not asking an either-or question. I'm not setting up either scenario, because both are unfair. The truth lies in the middle. But I'm offering to you right here, right now, as you sit at 9-4, as the 2 seed in the National Football Conference, where is your confidence level on a scale of 1 to 10? A confidence level about winning this division. A confidence level about vanquishing the Packers. And most importantly, a confidence level about winning playoff games in January. I want to throw this number to you. If you want to do scale of 1 to 10, I'm good with that. If you're more comfortable just verbalizing the confidence, that's fine. But the mystery of Stafford's finger, the injury, the level of compromise, if any, I think it's the leading storyline in the Motor City all week long and without being melodramatic for the next month. Because it's something he will have to play through. It is something that if you look and do any reading, any contact with that finger, it can absolutely make it worse. It could knock him out. It could make him non-functional. Or he could skirt fate and be just fine. None of us know. Anyone who tells you they know is a liar. So I'm asking you, I want to throw this out, and Riger, I want your thoughts on this. 248-539-9797. You as fans and where you're at with your football team, you got the win. It wasn't pretty. Your quarterback got hurt. Nobody's great in the NFC, but you know what happened yesterday. Giants are red hot with that defense. Go out, 2 big wins over Dallas. The Packers look like they're all the way back, and the Cowboys are going to need the game. 248-539-9797. I want to start with you, Riger. You are the king of the flip. I want to know where you're at confidence-wise with this football team with the looming mystery of Stafford's injury.
By the way, I can't remember, Mike. Did I end on a flip or flop? What was my last opinion? I don't know.
I can't keep up.
Exactly. How dare you? No, listen. You ask on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to say a 7.5, which is pretty confident, to tell you the truth. I'm not sold on the Giants. I think Dak's looked bad the last 2 weeks, albeit against good defenses. And I think the Packers, well, that game's obviously going to be for all the money, but you got to slay some dragons on the way. As far as Matthew Stafford's finger, I think it comes down to what the actual injury is. I've been doing some reading online, Michael, from NFL doctors that are no longer in the league, and not that anybody gives a damn. However, if it's a ligament and dislocated, apparently there's no issue. You're going to be able to feel everything. If it's a tendon, then it's going to really affect you. The current prognosis is ligament and dislocated finger. He's going to have all week to work with the glove. I know people want to go back to 2011, the last time he wore a glove. He was dreadful. I think he's a much better quarterback from that time. I think it's a different offense. I think the Lions, mostly because of Stafford and also because of some bad, well, not great teams, I think they make the playoffs. And yes, I think they win the NFC North.
But do they win a playoff game? That is, and forever will be, the mark of being an actual team and having actual success.
Considering, I believe, two things. One, I already stated that I don't think there's any team in the NFC that's all that great.
Okay.
Two, I believe that playoff game is going to be at Ford Field. So, yes, I think they will win a playoff game.
So your confidence level on a scale of 1 to 10 in the opinion you just levied?
7.5 or 8.
Okay, well, you got to pick, so you don't get choices.
I'll go 7.5, which is still pretty damn confident considering what we're looking at, don't you think?
Pretty confident, but not super confident.
No, it's not a 9 by any means. And listen, I think that Lions defense has proved once again they got a pretty decent secondary. I think you're going against two offenses coming up. Your offense, your defense is great. Your offense stinks. Your quarterback, Eli Manning, was pathetic in a dome, essentially, going against Dak Prescott, who might feel the tightness of that collar around him. He struggled the last 2 weeks, granted, against good defenses. I'm telling you, I see something in this Lions team, and whether it's crazy wins, you don't want to give them any credit, or they deserve all the credit in the world, what they've done is impressive. And it's not I'm not going to turn my back or I'm not going to believe. I believe in what they've shown us through really 13 weeks of football. And when you see this team win like they've won the last 8 of 9 weeks, you can't help but to think this is who they are.
My point is, if you don't look at the Stafford injury, where he admits it affected everything to do with throwing the football.
Very true.
If you don't look at that injury and factor it into your opinion, then you're not paying attention. You're the equivalent of a child putting your fingers in your ears and going la, la, la.
No, but I'm paying attention, and I think the injury might affect them. I just have no idea to what extent.
So here's the point I make.
Yeah.
If he is anything other than Matthew Stafford at 100%, you're losing out.
Yeah, but don't you think with what he's already proven, better reader of defenses, ability to be mobile and use his legs.
Yep.
I think Matthew Stafford, this is no secret. He's been the key to your success.
You're not getting it. If he's compromised, you're done.
But, Mike, I don't know if he is.
Okay, my point is, that's why I said if.
Right.
You're not arguing the things I'm saying.
I get it. You asked me for my confidence level. Okay. I gave it to you. You're coming back at me.
So you believe that a compromised Matthew Stafford is still good enough to find a way to win 2 of the last 3?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I saw Matthew Stafford after the injury, and yes, I know it was in game, and things are different in game rather than waiting a week.
He didn't look that great.
Yeah, but he didn't look awful. He still made some pretty big-time throws and made up for that pick 6.
So what's it going to look like when he's outside in the cold, or when it's week after week with it, when one contact could throw this whole thing? I'm nervous if I'm a Lions fan.
That's fine.
I'm nervous, even though they've done everything right. There is no knock, but if Stafford is compromised at all, I don't know how you're not more nervous.
Because I'm not so sure of the level of being compromised. Listen, I mean, go Derek Carr, different finger, right? But still same injury. Came back the next game, looked really good.
Yeah, how did he look last week?
Well, he looked bad, but he looked good in the second half. And if that pass he threw doesn't hit the little camera line, they probably win that football game against the Chiefs.
17 of 41.
What did he do in the second half?
I don't care.
A lot better.
The whole game, 17 of 41.
Dude, he looked a lot better in the second half. Not to mention, Mike, look at the Lions. They have one game in the weather. Okay. This game. You can make the case they can beat Dallas.
Would
you can make the case they can beat the
3 best
Packers.
Teams that are on your schedule?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if these are the 3 best teams you've played and your quarterback might not be at 100%, How do you come to the airwaves with that level of confidence?
I just told you.
Okay, then. 248-539-9797.
See, the funny thing is,
I want to hear from the people. I don't want to argue with you. I'm not interested in arguing
I don't want to
with you.
argue either.
This is boring to me.
But no, that's fine. But you come to me and I give you my opinion, and then you're like, well, how can that be your opinion?
Well,
so
I'm
why don't
asking.
you just come out and say I'm wrong, even though you don't know that
Your
I'm wrong because we
opinion
haven't
isn't wrong.
seen the injury yet.
I just happen to think that you're not looking at this clear enough.
I've read all about this so-called injury. He could be just fine.
Well, could, maybe, might. The unknown should scare you more than coming on the air and giving me an 8 for confidence.
I said 7.5, and that's why I didn't go 9. Dude, this team wins football games in the most mysterious ways, but it's also who they are. They have a defense that for the last 3 years has allowed the least amount of points in football. I mean, they're a good football team in a division and conference that ain't all that great.
People, I turn it to you.